Season 3 of The Kardashians is coming soon. Today, we are breaking down the new trailer. Hey everyone, welcome back to another shared news update. We are going to get into some big Kardashian news, and it feels like it's been a while since we've had some big Kardashian news. But before we do, if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you never miss out on any of our pop culture updates. As always, I'm your host, Morgan Wright, today joined by Kate and Hannah. First thoughts, you guys, on the trailers. Were we surprised about this, and what did you think overall?
I'm stoked that we're getting a new season. As you said, Morgan, they've been pretty quiet. They haven't really been doing that much staying low, other than, of course, the Kylie, Kendall, Hailey Bieber of it all. But I think generally
Yeah.
speaking, they've been pretty quiet. So I'm pretty excited to see, what have they been up to that we have not been privy to. It seems to be packed with drama. And I'm excited to learn more. So it definitely intrigued me.
I'm excited. I personally am a huge fan of the show. I love watching the show in general. So I'm excited for another season. Like Kate said, I'm a little wary to see what exactly is going on because of the fact that I felt like they mentioned drama so many times. I'm hoping that they're not overcompensating for there being a lack of drama. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm hopeful that there is drama, but the fact that they mentioned it so many times in a 45-second trailer, I'm a little worried. I'm a little concerned, but I'm sure that they'll pull through with a little bit of something.
Yeah, that's a great point, Hannah, especially because when you consider anytime there's drama in the Kardashian world, it's all over every news publication. And there really hasn't been a lot of drama all over every news publication when it comes to them. So, unless they've been really laying low and keeping their drama under wraps to save it for the show, which maybe that was a strategic decision this season, that could be it. So, we're going to go ahead and break the trailer down piece by piece. So let's start and we get our first look from Kim.
Listen, everyone has their own truth of how they think something happened.
Okay, so very short right off the bat, but I got to be honest. When I first saw this clip of Kim, and her tone is so serious, and everyone has an idea of how they think something happened. To me, I thought she's going to talk Balenciaga. Am I the only person that thinks that? Because I mean, she got major backlash for that. It's the closest she's been to being canceled, and I do think she references it again at the end. But was that your thought, or were you thinking something different when you first saw this?
I mean, I don't know if that was my first thought when I saw this. When I saw her say that, I thought she was going to talk about Kanye and kind of,
Mm.
they have not really addressed the anti Semitic things that he has been saying. And also, he's just really been off the rails. So I'm wondering if she's going to address that. But definitely, it could be one of the two. I mean, they both popped into my mind. I was thinking Balenciaga or the Kanye of it all.
I was thinking either Kanye or Kim always seems to be the sister to me, at least from what I've interpreted with watching the show so far. She always seems to be the sister, especially when it comes to Chloe, that's very much in other people's business, but not in a negative way. It just seems like she's very involved and very caring. And it seems like she really does like to give her 2 cents. So I was even thinking like maybe it's something relating to Tristan and that whole timeline and the second
Mm.
child. So that's kind of where my brain was going with it too. I was thinking either Kanye or on behalf of something else that went down regarding someone else in the family.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, we saw her be very passionate about Chloe last season, even, having that message to you trolls online who bully Chloe, and she went into that whole monologue. So great point, Hannah. And this next clip that we actually see is from Chloe. So let's take a look.
I wish I could tell you this is going to be a mild, relaxing, serene season. It's not.
And she says that. And I mean, I know that we have kind of already beaten this point to death about how we don't really know what's been going on behind the scenes with them lately, but can we brainstorm and think of maybe what she's referencing here? I mean, we know Kanye, we know Balenciaga, we know Tristan. Is there any other major drama with them that we are just forgetting about that could equate this to a crazy, dramatic season like she's making it out to be?
I literally don't know.
It's hard, right?
Like it's hard. I mean, the only thing we're all like, no. I mean, those are the big three, and those honestly, all three of those things, I'm sure will be featured in some way in the season. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about, Kylie and Travis. They did break up in December, and a little bit
Mhm.
about Air and that the name debacle, maybe a little bit. That's not really drama. That's just, I don't know. And then, I mean, I don't know when they wrapped filming. I'm not sure, but the Selena Gomez drama definitely has been a lot that has been going on, but I don't know if that's going to make it into this cut because that would be the other thing that I would think of.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I feel like Courtney's found her piece with Travis. I know that they're doing their own thing. I can't see it necessarily being about Kylie or Kendall. They have their own things going on, but the way that she's speaking about it, I feel like it's surrounding those few topics that we've already discussed. So, yeah, I'm kind of at a loss. I'm not really sure.
Let me ask you guys this, your thoughts, because there's been a lot of speculation, as there always is, that Chloe and Tristan are back together. Nothing confirmed. Everything that I've seen is on Dumois, which, you have to take things you see on Dumois with a grain of salt. But this week, Tristan did move into a mansion 3 doors down from Chloe. So it's also like, well, if they were together, would he be moving into his own house or would he be moving in with her? But do you think there's any truth to they are back together, that they're keeping it a secret, and that that's gonna be a big moment in this season?
I think that Chloe is the type of mom who wants Tristan very involved in their kids' lives. And I think that she's very, you know, has talked a lot about co-parenting and takes a lot of pointers from the way that her mom and her dad did co-parenting. And I think that's a very, very important thing for her. So I don't know if they're back together, but the way that it works, it seems with them, is he for a couple months is on the straight and narrow, and she starts to
Mhm.
believe him, and then they get back together, and then he does something. You know what I mean? It's probably that's
Yeah.
what I could imagine is happening right now. Or they're going to talk about. She's probably going to do the thing where she's like, "No, we're not together, but we're trying to figure it out." That's probably what
Yeah.
is happening.
If it is, oh my goodness. I just want Chloe to be treated. I get so mad about it. I just
I
want Chloe to be
know.
treated the way that she deserves to be treated. My fear with Chloe is the fact that, and this is what I was fearful of with her having a second child. It's not the fact that she was blessed to be able to have the second child. Let me be clear. Like, I'm glad that the baby's here. That's not my point. My point is I was fearful of her having another child with Tristan because I fear that the co-parenting and her emotions for Tristan, I feel like that just always sucks her back in. And co parenting is so
Mhm.
Mhm.
important. And in this day and age, I love how that's something that people are trying to do. I myself have been, my parents are divorced, but they're best friends. And I'm blessed to be able to say that. So co parenting is very important, but it's just like, oh, goodness, Chloe, I just don't want her to keep getting sucked back in when she deserves so much better than the way that he's treated her in the past. And I hope that the co parenting and moving just a few doors down just oh I just hope that it's not a catch 22, but I just fear that it is at this point.
I can't stand Tristan. I really can't. I'm so sorry. I really can't. It makes me so angry that he treats her so badly so many times. And it just keeps happening over and over again. Sorry, I needed to say that. I really want him as
No,
far away
girl,
as
get it
possible
all
from
off.
Chloe.
Get it all off your chest. I do think it is so wild to think that we are having the same conversation about Tristan and Chloe for what, 6 years, 7 years? Like, it's been a long time that we've been having this same exact conversation under different circumstances. So, I hope for all of us and for Chloe that that's not going to be the big bombshell that's dropped in season 3, but let's move on to our next clip.
Yeah, legend season in full effect. I'm the truest yet.
Okay, so short one here, but one thing that actually I just noticed that I hadn't noticed before. There is a picture on this clip, and hopefully we'll be able to find it. But remember, Chloe had a tumor removed from her face within the past couple of months. And it seems like maybe she's doing something with that here. We haven't seen her talk a lot about that, but we saw her wearing the band-aid to different big events. So maybe she's opening up about that here. Did you guys see anything else that you want to touch on here in this clip, or can we move on to the next one?
I mean, Kim is crying,
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
I think she's crying.
and I
Yeah,
mean,
she
like,
looks like she's crying.
yeah, like I said earlier, I think Kim Kardashian got the closest that she'll ever get to being canceled with the way that she received all the Balenciaga backlash and her response to it, the Instagram stories that she put out. So I wouldn't be
Mhm.
surprised if that is not a major storyline in this season. Although, would you guys be surprised? Because when you compare it to things in the past, like the Astro World tragedy, they really stayed far away from that. I think the two situations are a little bit different, but what are your guys' perspectives?
I mean, I think the Astroworld thing had much more to do with Kylie than it did with the three main sisters. And I think we've learned with this show that Kylie and Kendall's lives are pretty much off limit storylines that, they're not ever really
Mhm.
highlighted as storylines. The main storylines are always with the big three sisters. So I think that it would probably make more sense that the Balenciaga scandal will take you know, a bigger part of the show than the Astroworld one did, just because it has something to do with Kim and not with Kylie.
Yeah, I agree with what you said there, Kate. I think that if anything, we will see it unfold. They're either going to go one way or the other. They're going to go all in
Mhm.
and include it and show probably a lot, in my opinion, or they're going to completely stay away from it. But I think because that was such a huge event that happened for such a long period of time, I mean, that went on for probably nearly a month, if I really think about it.
Mhm.
I would say that this is probably going to be in regards to that for sure. Do you guys think that maybe even this is going to have any comparison to the statement that she made about working with Vogue and everything like that and to get up and go work?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the seriousness of the matter is really extreme. Like, people, in my opinion, rightfully so, were very upset about the Balenciaga campaign. And even though Kim wasn't in it, I mean, you can't deny the fact that for the past year, she has been very connected to the brand. At that point in time, when people thought Balenciaga, they also thought Kim Kardashian. So I think if they don't do anything with it, honestly, this is bold prediction, but if they completely cut out the Balenciaga stuff, they will not last. The show will not last. People will be so angry because it's like they built this empire on, being authentic and showing their true selves. When we think back to the early days of keeping up with the Kardashians, it's why everybody fell in love with them, only for them to, reach the pinnacle of their career where they have all these businesses and they have all this money, for them to then start picking and choosing, how much they want to let us in when we've already seen it play out in the media. Does that make sense?
Totally. I
Mhm.
agree.
So we'll see. But we got to keep on keeping on. There's more to discuss besides Kim, some Courtney, some Scott Disick. So let's see what clip is next.
There's no sense of loyalty. You think I need your permission?
I've never seen this much drama in my life.
Okay, so this clip starts off with Courtney saying, "You have no loyalty." And she's sitting there with Chloe and their friend Simon, and, just trying to put some pieces together. At the end of that clip, we see Scott Disick. And it's like, how many times have we heard the conversation that Courtney has with her family about respecting her boundaries when it comes to Scott being around, especially now that Travis is involved? Do we think that Courtney's quote about there is no sense of loyalty has to do with Scott still being in the mix with this family? Or do you have any predictions on what else she could be talking about?
I don't know if I feel like the Scott storyline is so tired. Like,
Mm.
please move on. Like, it's like the Tristan one. I'm like, please move on. I'm begging. Like,
Yeah.
something else. Because I don't really know what she could be referencing. She could be referencing, they could be talking about Tristan in this clip. I hate to bring it back to Tristan, but they really could be, in the sense that Chloe's
Mhm.
there and Courtney does, in this past couple seasons of the Kardashian Hulu, she's kind of taken a little bit of a backseat when it comes to all of this drama situation, because she's happy and she's married and she's living her best life, and she kind of only really like comments on her other sister's problems. So this could be in something with Chloe.
I agree with you. I think that it could definitely be a conversation about Tristan. This could be like Courtney's chill form of an intervention. And then also the other thing is with Scott saying about the drama. I'm just like, Scott. My thing is Scott has been around this family for so long. He's been around since pretty much the beginning at this point. So if he's saying that this is super dramatic, that there's never been this much drama, it's either there's a ton of drama or I'm just like, Scott, you're just you're desensitized at this point, you know? And
Yeah.
bless this man for even still just collecting his paycheck and being in the show at this point. You know, this is really just where
Seriously.
Scott's at.
Yeah.
He's just at least Courtney's
Or
still
he's
including him
lying.
enough for that.
Or he's
Are you
lying.
guys
I have no idea.
Yeah, are you excited to see Scott? I gotta be honest. I really miss Scott when he's not there. I
Mhm.
think he adds that comedic relief that we all need. I
Mhm.
definitely think that him and Chloe have the funniest relationship. I mean, when I think about the Kardashians, the show specifically, I think about the pranks that Scott and Chloe would play on and like those are the things that I remember. And there was I think some backlash last season that we didn't see a lot of him. Are you guys Scott fans, or do you think he needs to respect the boundary and move on?
I love Scott. I love Scott. I've loved Scott since the beginning. I mean, I didn't love him for Courtney. I don't think that they had a very healthy relationship at all. Um, but I love him. I think he's, like you said, he's comedic relief. He's hilarious. Some of my
Mhm.
favorite episodes and my favorite clips of the Kardashians are him, like his quotes that are just so
Yep.
insane and outlandish. And I think he adds like a layer to the show that almost like humanizes it through humor, because I mean the show is so like grandiose and there's so much going on that like not many people can relate to. The Kardashians' lives are not relatable, let's be clear. So like I feel like Scott's humor brings that sense of realness that I think everyone really loves and I really love. And but the Courtney boundary thing is a little bit of little tired, you know. I'm a little tired of that one.
Several things with Scott. I love Scott. He is very much the voice of reason. Like you said, he's that one person that everybody can relate to. He cracks me up. I couldn't tell you what Scott Disick's job has ever been. I think he was a promoter for a little bit of time. And I'm not even sure like what really that has entailed. Like his job has basically just been, I feel like, being on this show. And I just love his remarks. I'm frankly just worried about Scott a little bit. I hope he's okay. I feel like I don't want him to fall into any of his past demons or anything like that. So when I watch the show and I like watch him in his interviews, I really actually like hone in on Scott and I try to like make sure he's okay. Like, cause I do want him to be okay, especially with how everything's gone with Courtney moving on and whatnot. I'm team Scott and Chloe. I wish that would happen. I think that they would be adorable. That's all I'm saying. I wish that
would
was
be
a thing.
that would be so messy and crazy.
It would be. Absolutely. I
point,
just
I would
feel
be
like
like-
they get along so well.
No, they do. I would be like, no, this show is so scripted if that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Like I would be like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God, this is so not based in any reality. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, it would get the ratings up though. That is for sure. Everybody would be tuning in to see that. Okay, and speaking of drama, that's been the theme of the trailer, it seems. Kim here, we get a little sassy moment from her, and we don't know who she's talking to. In the trailer, it makes it seem like she's talking about Kendall and Kylie, but I think that's probably edited. But she says, "You think I need to ask your permission?" I mean, I honestly have no clue what she could be talking about here. Do you guys have any predictions?
It has to be about Kanye. That has to be about Kanye. Just
Good
like
point.
have something to do with the kids, something to do with a fashion brand. You know, Kanye does, sometimes feel entitled to the things Kim does. I feel like that would be truthful. So maybe it's something to do with the kids where he's like, why didn't you ask if you could do this? And Kim's like, I don't need your permission. Because she doesn't, truthfully.
Which reminds me, weren't they fighting a lot about what school the kids were going to go to? A while
Probably.
back, I believe Kanye really wanted the kids to go to his Donda school. And I think Kim, I think at one point they had to have like security show up at North School for some, I can't remember the specifics of the story, but I do remember that they had a lot of back and forth about where the kids were going to school. So great point, Kate. Maybe we put the pieces of the puzzle together on that. Hannah, do you have any differing opinions, or do you think we're kind of on the right track?
I think it's definitely to do with Kanye, parenting, something in that realm. I know earlier this week, I know that even, and this could have been documented at this point in time, depending on the timeline of the filming, But I know that Kim was even taking out LLCs and trademarks in the kids' names and everything like that, trying to get them set up and to be on track to be able to basically be entrepreneurs themselves. So maybe it's even something to do with how she's going about that. And they're also young. I mean, North is the oldest. She's like 9 years old. So maybe it's even something to do with trying to, maybe not let the kids be kids. I don't know how Kanye really feels on that type of stance. I know a lot of people believe in let the kids be kids, but I know with these guys, businesses and capitalization, that's huge because they have such a huge reputation. So maybe it's even something to do with that. But I definitely think at the end of the day, it's going to involve Kanye for this situation.
We'll have to see. All right, let's move on. We only have a few more clips, and we actually get some Kendall and Kylie sightings next.
It all comes back to protecting my peace.
We have huge influence. What are we doing with our power?
Okay, I want to start with Kendall here because she says it's all about protecting my peace. And I got to be honest, I feel like Kendall, all you do is protect your peace, so much so that we never get anything from you because you're so far removed from the drama, which I'm not going to knock her for. That's her personality. But I mean, this has to be about, she went through a breakup with Devin Booker. She's, kind of testing the waters, I think, in a new romance with Bad Bunny, but I don't think the timing of filming kind of pans out with us seeing any of that. But do you think she'll open up about her split from Devin?
No, definitely
Yeah,
not. Kendall will never. Like, she just won't. And that's totally fine. She's made that so clear. That's like very much her brand and well within her right to exercise that. She signed on to do this show when she was like 9, really, with the original contract with E. And now that has moved to Hulu. I don't know, how involved her contract was, but, knowing Kendall, I doubt she's going to let us in any farther than she already has. It could also be about her ever present battle with anxiety. Maybe she's talking about a job she said no to, and she was like, I have to protect my peace. I'm tired. I don't want to, I'm anxious. And I don't know. That's always her narrative, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, if she does let us in, it's going to be very surface level. Like we're going to get a clip of her saying like Devin and I broke up. And like that's going to be the extent. Kendall is also, I feel like she's very good at being the type of person to where she fulfills the obligations of her contract. She says a lot without saying anything. She's actually very smart, I think, of Kendall. She's definitely not the type of person to be very divulgent with her details. So whatever this is about, I really don't think it's very surface level with Kendall, and that's just how it is. And I think that's just kind of where she's at. And, good for her. She's got enough other sisters too that want to spill the tea on their end. So at least she is able to hopefully protect her peace.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking too, like to past seasons, specifically, on this Hulu rebrand. That Kendall and Kylie are still making bank on this show. I mean, in retrospect to our perspectives, like to them, it might not be a lot of money, but to us, it probably is an astronomical amount of money. And it's like, I don't know. I don't want to say, do they deserve it, but do they deserve to be making, maybe $1 million a season for, brief cameos here and there? And I think it leads me kind of into the final point from Kylie in the trailer that she says, we have a lot of influence and power. What are we really doing with it? And I think that has been a major point of backlash for the Kardashians. I mean, there is always going to be the Kardashian haters in the world. It seems like there's a lot of them on the internet. There's equally as many people that love them. But one, I think, consistent complaint about the family is like, what do they do for society, or how much do they give back, or how I don't even think political is the right word, but like they don't get involved in things that people really dub important. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on that specific backlash when it comes to the family in general?
I think they know where their audience's interests lie with them. I think if they were to start talking about politics or the world's woes, I feel like they would get just as much hate. You know what I mean? Like they would get just as many people being like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like no matter what they say, no matter how much research they do, no matter how much money they donate, there's always going to be people coming at them. from every
Mhm.
different angle. People will always find a reason to hate them. Like it's inevitable. They're so famous, they're so well known. Like there's just no way that they would get out of that unscathed, no matter how much good they were trying to do. But I can imagine that in this clip, Kylie is talking about, that has been a pretty prevalent narrative in the past couple months of like, what do you guys actually, do? You guys don't really care about the world. I mean, people have been making comments about how, they're buying 6 houses and there's this huge homelessness crisis in LA. And just to name one of them specifically, and I'm sure it's making them think, I don't think they don't see that, but I feel like this is the first time they're
Mhm.
maybe going to address it because it has become so egregious recently.
I think it's almost a form of a rhetorical question. Like, I think this is kind of their way at maybe making a conversation starter and maybe trying to kind of break that wall with the audience. Because, like you said, Kate, at the end of the day, I look at myself, I'm like, what have I turned to the Kardashians for? Entertainment in my free time. I look into their beauty products. I look into even like, I feel like every girl goes through phases where you maybe want hair extensions. I've looked into that because of them and getting like the clip-ins. I've looked to them for very much things that involve like self-care. It plays into my winding down time of my day, if I ever do turn to them. And I think that they know that, like you said, I think that they know their audience and where everybody stands with them. If they started getting political, if they started doing all of these things to try and make changes, then people are going to come and say, oh, well, what right do you have to be able to make those statements? You're just a business owner of a fashion brand. You're just a reality TV star. So no matter what they do,
Mhm.
they're doomed if they do and they're doomed if they don't. So I kind of actually like that this made it in the season. I'm actually curious to see what people have to say. And hopefully this is an opportunity for them to use this as like an active survey. Like what else do you want us to do? What else can we do that you'll allow us to do? I think that's kind of where it's coming from in this clip.
Yeah, you're right, Hannah. And I was even thinking back to like, Courtney is very big into sustainability and
Hmm.
cruelty-free products and stuff like that. She's very
Hmm.
invested in her health and wellness journey, and she does a collab with fast fashion line and it like blows up in her face. You have Kim who's trying to do the criminal justice reform and people aren't happy with the way that she does it. So you're right, when people are going to hate on this family no matter what, no matter what good they try to do. But I agree with you. I'm glad that they put this in the trailer because it is just such a frequently asked question. But I think fans and haters both. So we have one last clip from Kim and then we'll give our final thoughts.
So let's talk about it.
The music, first of all, is so intense. I was like, "Oh, okay, like let's talk about it, Kim." And I know we've already discussed this a lot, but I do think she's really gonna have to address the backlash that she got with the Balenciaga situation. I got to be completely honest, I didn't love the statement that she came out with. She posted one statement and then an hour later she had to post another one because whether it was misconstrued or maybe not good enough the first time around. I will say that I'm interested to hear what she has to say now. I'm not a advocate of cancel culture. I feel like everybody in life makes mistakes. We're all human. But this was a very serious, scandal, and whether she really liked it or not, she was kind of roped in because of how connected to the brand that she was. Do you guys have any final thoughts for the trailer and maybe some hopes or what you would like to see in season 3?
I mean, for me, to end things off on this clip, I think that she kind of smiles at the end. It was like a playful smile that she gives us.
Mhm.
So I don't know if what she's saying there has something to do with the Balenciaga controversy because it clearly was so, like she's literally smirking. Like it can't be about
Yeah.
Balenciaga. It might be about I don't know, who she's dating, something more playful. Like I just don't know if she would be making that kind of joke knowing how close it came. It was the closest, like you said, the closest she's ever come to being canceled. And
Yeah.
her whole brand relies on people to not cancel her, to continue
Yeah.
to view what she does and support what she does and buy the things she makes. Like that is literally what sustains her. Um, I think for me, I love the Kardashians. There's always something that I enjoy watching, whether it's the aesthetic of what they're wearing, their dinner parties that they throw that are themed, like seeing the kids. Like I hope we get to see some of the kids because those are some of the funniest and most fun moments. But I also think that protecting the children from, the show and the world that they very much live in is important. But I love when we see, some funny North quips, or maybe getting to see Stormy do something cute or True as well. I mean, I'm hoping we get to see more of the kids, but I also know that might be a large ask.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go to where you said about the smirk. I agree with you, but I could also see if there is a smirk there. Maybe she is talking about Balenciaga. Maybe the smirk is kind of giving the audience insight to, like, you know, here I listened to what you guys had to say. Maybe I cut ties with the brand. I'm gonna give my side of the story. So I'm not really sure what the smirk means. I think it's kind of an interesting choice there, and I'm curious to see where that pans out further. Overall, I'm really excited to see the third season. I've watched these girls since I've been a little girl myself, so I'm pumped to be able to catch back up and keep back up. But I'm really hoping to see what I did there. I'm really hoping too that, like,
Hilarious.
I'm hoping that the theme overall, though, I'm really hoping that they defy the theme of drama, and I'm hoping that they provide the theme of clarity. I hope that they get to use this opportunity this season to clarify a lot of the gray area, the rumors. That clip of Kylie mentioning about what else can they possibly do being in the situation that they're in. I'm hoping that this is an actually pivotal season. And if it takes the place of being pivotal through drama, so be it. But I'm praying that their drama is synonymous with clarity, because I think that they give a good reality show. I know that I get invested into it and that I do enjoy watching it, but I'm just hoping that they can use this to really turn some things around, shine some light to things. And again, they've been out of the press for the most part, so let's see what they bring to the table.
I think that is a great note to end on. And I agree with you. I think giving clarity would be the best thing for them to do on a lot of different fronts. So we can see them back on Hulu May 25th. We still have a while to go, almost 2 months, but we are excited. Let us know in the comments section what you think of the trailer, if there's a specific piece you want to discuss, or just overall thoughts. We love to hear from our Shared News family. You can come say hi to myself, Hannah, and Kate. Our social media handles are on the screen right now. Don't forget, if you have not subscribed to our channel, feel free to do so and ring the bell so you never miss out on any of our updates. And we will see you back here next time. Bye, everyone.